Welcome to part 3 of the Little Cluckers and How to Raise Them video series. In this final episode, we will discuss some of the most important yet often overlooked things that can make all the difference in your chicken raising experience. Stay tuned if you want to learn what experienced chick raisers do instinctually so that you too can provide your chicks with a healthy, happy existence. If you have missed our other chicken videos, make sure you check out Raising Chickens from the Ground Up, which can help you decide what type of chickens are best for you. Part 1 of this series is where we discuss where to keep your chickens, suitable types of bedding, and start the conversation about bathing chickens. In Part 2, we discuss heat sources, lighting, food and water requirements, and more. Hello, my name is Georgia. I help beginner farmers and homesteaders to build a solid foundation with livestock, naturally and intuitively from the ground up. Let's get started. The last thing I want to discuss are your observation skills. You will need to ensure that you are visiting your chicks twice a day, more at the beginning. I check on new chicks every half an hour for the first several hours to make sure that they are comfortable and at the right temperature. After you have placed all your chicks in the new brooder, you have ensured that they have heat, dry bedding, fresh water within reach, and good quality chick starter feed. The next most important thing is often missed. This advice is golden, so listen up. The best thing you can do, it won't take much time, but will make all the difference. Look at your chicks. Simply observe them. Purpose is for you to know what they look like. Does it sound silly? It's not. If you do not know what they look like when you first bring them home, how will you know when there's a problem? I'm going to ask you to use your senses twice a day at chore time and do this one simple activity. It can save you a world of grief because you can identify an issue before it becomes a big problem. I recommend this practice for the whole life of your chickens. With your eyes, look at the birds. If you have a lot, you might just look like a sea of yellow fluff at first. Does anything catch your attention? Just watch the chicks in their normal behavior. Are they eating, sleeping, drinking, walking around? Are any of them limping? Are they staying away from the group? Is one sleeping while the rest are eating? You want to know what your baseline is, what your chicks look like when they are healthy and happy. Then you can notice right away when something is not right. When you are done looking, stand up straight and close your eyes. Breathe and then listen with your ears. What do you hear? When you know what happy birds sound like, you will be able to notice if something is different or unusual. If you hear calls of distress, sneezing, wheezing, or coughing, you need to take action immediately. Chicks, especially meat chicks, don't have a strong constitution, so trouble can take over very quickly. Next, you need to put your nose to work. What do the chicks smell like? Hopefully nothing at first. Ideally, you don't really want your chicks to smell too much. Consider that you're 5 or 6 feet tall, and if you can smell it, imagine how the chick feels if they're only a few inches away from the bedding. You want to know what the chick is breathing in. Put your face down on its level and have a sniff. If the smell is strong, then you need to apply more carbon, like the shavings, or a bedding agent if needed. Ask your local feed store again what's available and safe for chicks. Now I want you to know what your chickens smell like when they're healthy, because it's possible for early detection of a problem, say a digestive upset or diarrhea, moldy feed, or any number of things. If you know what your chicks, the feed, and the bedding usually smell like, you will notice if it's different. Now I'll add this one sense. If you are going along in daily life and you suddenly think, I should go check on the chicks, I suggest that you listen. It might be nothing. The worst thing that happens is you get to look at your cute chicks an extra time. Sometimes that little nudge could be a bigger problem, like your heat bulb burned out or the water drained all into the pen and the chicks are wet. You never know unless you look. Trust the messages you get, because sometimes the animals are sending you the message. I remember once a few years ago, walking through the barnyard, and my horse Digger nickered at me, which is cool, but all of a sudden I thought, check the water. I was in a hurry, but I took a detour by the automatic water bowl, and it was completely dry. The sheep and the cattle had no water. If I would have just ignored that message, it could have become a big problem for me. When the chicks are little, it might seem like there is so much extra space in your brooder, but they grow quickly, and hen chicks can fly after only a couple weeks. So you need to make sure their brooder has enough room for them over the month or more that they may be in it. At times, we have put 150 chicks into a brooder that we built for 80. That is the 4x8 brooder boxes that I mentioned before. With so many in that space, by the time they were 3 to 4 weeks old, they were almost wall to wall. I had to pay extra attention, clean it out more regularly, and even at times I had to put a big box fan on the top of the brooder. Never blowing on the chicks, that would be bad. But actually pulling the heavy air out while drawing fresh air in the brooder through the other side. As long as it was warm enough weather outside, by 4 weeks of age, we put them out in the chicken tractors. If you haven't heard that expression before, it's a movable, predator-proof house that contains shelter and shade, but allows you to move the chicks to fresh grass daily, more times as they get older, always to ensure that they remain clean and dry. You still have to provide them with food and water, but they can supplement their diet with grass, dirt, and bugs, as they see fit. Yummy. The weather where you are will determine how long you leave the heat lamps on. By about 6 weeks of age, they are happy at 70-degree temperatures. I always just switch out the heat bulb for a regular lamp when they no longer need the heat. It's all well and good to have a spot to keep a few chicks, but remember that they will grow up quite quickly and you'll need to be prepared. Have your predator-proof chicken tractor or coop ready so that your chickens will stay safe. Even adult birds need to be locked up safely at nighttime to avoid disappointment. If you are in a high predator area, you may always have to keep your birds in a predator-proof enclosure. So now you know the basics of what is required to get your chicks started on the right path. Now you just need to decide if you are only interested or if you are actually committed to having chicks. Take the first step or take the next step to fulfilling your dream of raising chickens. Let me know in the comments below where you are at in your chicken raising journey. If you found this video helpful, please like and share. Also, remember to push the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of our upcoming videos. Check out the link in the description for my website where you can get more information about my coaching services. Also, if you're interested in my whole story, you can get a copy of my book through the website as well. Thank you kindly for watching.